I Shalom. I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Prophet Yahweh, Prophet Yahushai. Give double honors to the apostle elders, which are the apostle elders that rule the great millstone. The hopeful elect out there that's adorning and keeping his faith, keeping the gospel, keeping his truth, and maintaining in what we've been learned, man. Hey, Shalom, man. Coming to that time. As just another lesson that came to mind. I've had it for a couple minutes, but I've been traveling, so I ain't been able to really put it together. But let me jump into this real quick. The title of this video is called "They Shall Hate the Whore." All right, they shall hate the whore. Able to really put it together. And who's that whore? That's Babylon the Great, which is America, man. All right, because the Lord is making these men, these Edomites, do moves that's gonna cause them to go into a conflict. All right, that's what everything is being set up for, because this is all for prophecy. The move when Donald Trump, okay, the last Trump, just as a joke, this the move that he just made by talking about sending the embassy to Jerusalem. That's a move that was put in his heart, man, put in his mind, and the mind of the elites too, also, because they're the ones that's running and pulling the strings on this guy. He's not doing moves on his own accord. Okay, none that's set in this world is not doing anything that's not being run through what? First of all, the Most High, and down on to Satan, and down onto his lackeys on the planet Earth. Okay, he's forcing them to move towards prophecy. That's what we headed to now, man. So I'm gonna share this shalom to you, Akim, that are on. I'm gonna share this video, and then I'm gonna go into the scriptures. And Lord willing, this is edifying to you, Akim, and few sisters that do listen out there, that don't say nothing, ain't on social media. That's a new thing that's going on now, man. They want to be on the forefront. If it says to men, do not make thyself equal, how much more women, when they supposed to keep silence in the church, man, which is the gathering, man. But let me play this video real quick, then go back into the scriptures.
I would like to express my regret once again. Mr. Trump, Jerusalem is a red line for Muslims.
And this is Turkey, okay? This is Erdogan, okay? This is the president of Turkey, an ally, and we know that Turkey's in the scriptures, man. We know that Turkey's going to be linked in with Russia and Iran in this conflict that's coming, man. All right.
Follow this struggle to the very last moment with determination. I would like to express my regret once again. Mr. Trump, Jerusalem is a red line for Muslims. We will follow this struggle to the very last moment with determination, and we could even go right up to cutting our diplomatic relations with Israel.
Oh, see that? I must need get this scripture, man. I must need. This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 45. This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 45. This is a classic, man. It's all of these are classics, but you got certain things that hit certain points. This is Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purpose that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldees. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. And who's the least of the flock? That's these Amalekites. It's Amalek, man. Amalek is in the land of Israel right now. That's the chief house of Israel. Or Salakia, that's the chief house of Esau. Hell no. That's a big Salakia. That's the chief house of Esau. It's Amalek, okay? And it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So the land of Palestine, as you may say, is going to be destroyed right along with Babylon, because the Most High has to cleanse it. Because what do they do there? They do pink city. They eat all types of abominations. All types of murders. The blood defileth the land, man. There's all types of blood spilling over there, man. So that's a violent land. Okay, that's the most, because that's the Most High's pit. That's the Most High's lily. All right, and it says his eyes are always on that land. Okay, so these gutter rats, they're gonna have to pay, man. But all these things that are moving now, why I read this verse to show you that the least of the flock, Amalek is going to bring the whole of U.S. into this war, the conflict, and it makes sense because the last time the so-called Jews before the Balfour Declaration, they got the U.S. into that war also. Okay, so through that shadow government, as you may say. So now we have the same thing that's going to happen these days, and it's happening now. They set this guy up, and look what he's doing and making moves for them. That's throwing conflict. But let me play this other video real quick, and then I'm gonna go back and go into these scriptures. We're gonna end on now. But the point is here, man.
This morning, Israel is the only country.
And this video was December 7th, so yesterday.
Praising President Trump. This morning, Israel is the only country praising President Trump for recognizing Jerusalem.
Because that's the only people that is benefiting. That's the only people that's benefiting. So they're willing to make moves to anger other major allies behind the so-called Jews, man, which are Edomites. So they're willing to make moves because they're what? They're a counterpart.
Jerusalem is Israel's capital. There are fiery protests in the nearby West Bank. Balak's foreign ministry summoned the U.S. ambassador. France's president says he disapproves of this move, and Saudi Arabia called it unjustified.
And that's where Saudi Arabia, we get a lot of our oil from there. So that's a major player that's throwing their hat in the ring of pissed off. So this move right here is not a light move. That's not a light thing, because we keep saying we're almost at the end because the Lord is speeding things up. But then I'm gonna read some scriptures to back all this up too.
And irresponsible. We'll go to the West Bank city of protests in the nearby West Bank. Balak's foreign ministry summoned the U.S. ambassador. France's president says he disapproves of this move, and Saudi Arabia called it unjustified and irresponsible. We'll go to the West Bank city of Bethlehem in just a moment, but first, Margaret Brennan is at the White House with the latest on this story. Margaret, good morning.
Good morning. Well, there is some confusion about exactly what President Trump meant when he said the U.S. recognizes Israeli sovereignty in Jerusalem. Today, the Secretary of State emphasized that doesn't mean the final status of the contested city has been decided on, saying that's still up for negotiation.
This is nothing more or less than a recognition of reality. It is also the right thing to do.
President.
Right for who? That's not the people, man. That's not the true people. What right thing is that? That the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true Israelites, man. But we're not looking for anybody to recognize that, because the Most High has recognized it. He's going to be the one to bring us into the land. It says, no man shall buy you. I mean, no man shall save you. So we're not looking for men to save us. But in the same sense, who's that right? What's that the right thing to do? No, it's not. The right thing to do is to acknowledge the true people of the Bible. Okay? You can't keep a lie going on. You're defending lies, man. Let's break it down. They can call us whatever they want. We can prove it. What people fit Deuteronomy 28? What people fit all the prophecies in the book, man? That we'd be thrown to the four corners of the wind. We'd go through hardship. That we the only people, man. So man, these are the things that look, the Lord is moving. And I'm going to show some scriptures here in a second.
Trump broke with 7 decades of U.S. policy and the advice of virtually every other country.
This decision is not intended in any way to reflect a departure from our strong commitment to facilitate a lasting peace agreement.
He insisted the unilateral decision to recognize Jerusalem as the Israeli capital would not impede the peace process led by son-in-law Jared Kushner. But the president made no concessions to the Palestinians, who also claim the holy city, saying that the U.S. would only support a future Palestinian state if Israel agrees to it.
While previous presidents...
Let me get these scriptures, man. Let me get these scriptures real quick. I'm gonna prove through the scriptures that this thing is being fulfilled, or getting ready to be fulfilled, or on the process of being that way. And it says, this is Revelation 17 and 16. Then the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, and that's these other nations, all right? It says, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. And what's those fires, man? That's those thermonuclear weapons. Because there's going to be something, and we always said it through the Spirit, through our apostles and elders, is saying that, look, there's going to be something that there's going to do that's going to offend the world, that's going to upset the world. It might not be one thing. It might be a composite of different things. Because when one thing happens, you don't even get over that. Then another thing happens, you don't get over that. Then another thing happens. It just keeps piling up. That's the situations that have been happening since this guy came into office. With us defending other nations, talking to other nations. Nations ain't forgave that. All of a sudden now it's this move, dropping Moabs. So it's a conglomerate of all these different things that's going to lead up to them fulfilling this scripture. Read it again. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, ye shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For Yahweh has put it in their hearts to fulfill his will. So this is what's happening. The Most High put it in his heart to make this move. If they ain't made this move, a lot of people that's upset now, because they're looking at they make money with the U.S., man. We can read that in Revelation also. The merchant ships, they make money off this place. So that's why they're willing to take they're willing to what's the word I'm looking for? Compromise. They're willing to compromise on certain things because they make money. Just like if you got a partner or you got a contract with a business or a nice company, you want to keep them happy to keep that contract going. Okay, but now the Most High is allowing it to hit where they can't really compromise their so-called religion, their so-called beliefs, their afterlife beliefs. So now they're gonna have to be shook up on a level of oh man, we might not be able to mess with these people. They gotta choose their beliefs or their so-called pocket, man. And it says, for Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdoms unto the beast until the words of the Lord shall be fulfilled. And that's what you see now. All these things are coming to pass, man. It says, and the woman which thou sawest is the great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. That's how he's able to do that. Nobody's going to be able to stop it if he wanted to pick it up right now, because he's the one that's ruling over the kings of the earth right now. But he's being pulled by the international bankers in the shadow government of the world. Let me pull this up to prove that the Most High controls men's minds. You don't have free will. You don't have free will. The Most High made multiple nations give their power unto the most Babylon. All right. It says, this is Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So Trump don't know what he's doing. These other kings and rulers don't know what they're doing, because they don't realize they're being coaxed into fulfilling prophecy. Once you understand that, that's how you fear the Lord, man. You see how the moves are being made, man, that are controlling men's minds, and they don't even believe in them. So you don't need somebody to believe in them to be able to control and make moves on them. And it says, it is a snare to a man, it is a snare to a man who devoureth that which is holy, and after vows to make inquiry. Hold on, let me see. That's it on that one. That's it on that. Let me get the next one. This is Proverbs 16 and 9. Proverbs 16 and verse 9. It says, a man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directs his steps. See that? A man's heart, because the word heart goes to lab. Let's see. Yup, right there. Right on time. Right here, lab, the Hebrew word lab. And it says, inner man, mind, will, heart, understanding, inner part, midst, heart, soul, heart, mind, knowledge, thinking, reflection, memory, inclination, resolution, determination. So the heart, it says that man's mind deviseth his way. Like the elites think they're going to take over the world, they're going to rule next. But the Lord directeth his steps. What he moves, the Most High moves you where he wants you to move you, man, and put you where he wants you to put you. So this move that they made is to lead to another prophecy. All right, let me keep going down. And it says, a divine sentence is in the lips of a king. His mouth transgresses not in judgment. No, that's it. I got one more. This is Jeremiah 10 and 23. Jeremiah 10 and verse 23, it says, O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. So that's why I said creature was made subject unto vanity. So we were made to go in the position that we are now, man. Just when we fell, we were made to fall. Okay, just like we're being made to return to ourselves. We're being made to go back to being Israelites. You know, we're being made to come back to the Lord and come back to his name and put forth love to the Most High, man, because it says it's his pleasure to give us the kingdom. He wants to give us this kingdom, man. He set it up for us. We're joint heirs with the Lord. So everything that's happening, man, the Most High wants it to happen. It's his joy to make these things come to pass. That's why it's an honor to be in this position where we're at now, man. Read it again. Jeremiah 10 and 23. Oh Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. O Lord, correct me, but with judgment, not in thy anger, lest thou bring me to nothing. But the main point is in 23. The man don't know his ways. You don't know why you're doing what you're doing, man. You know, we didn't choose to wake up. That's why these guys that are being prideful, man, that's a hell of a thing. You know, it's one thing to be assured of in this truth, assured of what you're learning and knowing that you're telling and you believe in it. But you can't go, man. You got to understand that there's order to this thing, man. You know, you got to submit to the apostles and elders, the men that have been set up with the truth, that are bringing out these breakdowns and these secrets. And it says, this is Ezekiel 16 and 37. Behold, therefore, I will gather all thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved. And this is speaking to Israel. All right. But then now this is jumping on Esau. It says, with all them that thou hast hated, I will even gather them around about against thee, and will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness. And that's the disgrace. When you see somebody's nakedness, that's a shame to them, man. You know, that's a shame to them. All right, let me keep going. And it says, and they shall see thy nakedness. Let me get this real quick. This is Obadiah. Obadiah 1 and 7 says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Because the ones that you dealing with on a financial tip or aid tip, they're just doing that to receive those goodies. But at the end of it, they're gonna prevail against you because they're gonna come against this place. All right. So that's all I wanted. It's sort of like a news update slash slash sit down, because this news is coming right along with the truth, man. It's going hand in hand with the truth. That's why you're seeing all these things come to pass simultaneously. All right. So let me stop sharing this real quick. So Tabata to Joachim that came by, and Lord willing, this is edifying, man. The prophecies are coming to pass day by day. minute by minute. You know, you just got to watch and hope and pray, man. Let the Most High keep us in this thing, man. Keep us moving. And then may he come quickly and take us home, man, and set up the kingdom. So with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Shalom, Akim.